I'm not throwing them all into the bus, but a lot of times private equity groups, they don't care. They're not your core group of people that built this brand, that live and breathe it, that have the culture, the feel, what the brand wants to do.
It's purely ROI.
It's the bottom line.
Yeah,
they care about being in the black. Why aren't we making money?
Have him in the studio. Drew Peters, Chief Science Officer for multiple brands, formulator of basically everything in the sports nutrition general wellness space. Thanks for having us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Of those brands, we have Zenos. Is it Zenos?
Yeah, Zenos Health is
Zenos
one.
Health, Vital Source, Beast Bites. They're sister companies, right?
Well, the trio, and there's also Lola Bites under that
Lola
same
Bites.
brand. Lola.
They're the same brand.
Yep.
And then, are you still working with? Was it Dragon Pharma?
I do consulting for Dragon Pharma as well. I was full time previously there. Now that's part of my consulting biz. But the Dragon's been a long-standing, I guess, relationship. So yeah.
So basically, Drew has his hands in the cookie jar of a lot of formulations you see out there.
Yes.
And there's sons I can't list because
and many more. Yeah, many more that we can't share.
Are you single-digit body fat?
I don't think so.
All your veins are. What do you mean, like 12% then?
Probably 11, 12%. That's still really.
And you pretty much stay in this shape all year round, right?
Yeah, these days I do. I don't do off seasons
crazy.
anymore. I mean, I have no desire to be 275, 280 pounds in my off season. It's fucking miserable. It's so much food. You just feel toxic.
Plus, you're not like doing any shows, or you're not like doing like physique shows, right?
No, just working on my dad bod, so I tell people.
Okay.
I keep abs year round because I enjoy it, and good long-term health is a goal. I want to be that jacked 50-year-old, that insanely looking 65-year-old guy. It's long-term, You don't need to be on trend when you're fucking 60. So,
I mean, just a little test, maybe a little growth hormone. Everyone's on that.
The daily for me is TRT. Weekly, I do 500 mgs a week. Everybody's TRT dose is different. For some people, it's a cruise, so it's okay. But it's where I like my range at. And then daily, I do 4 IU of GH. That's my nightly.
What about that? What was this? Starts with an S. The peptide secrelins?
There's so many. Which one?
The growth peptide.
Oh,
starts with an S.
Summerellin?
Yeah, Summerellin, yeah.
Summerellin's one. That's a.
Do you recommend that?
If you don't want to take real GH, you can. Basically, that tells your body to release GH naturally, or you can just use synthetic GH. There's pros and cons of each. I just use real.
So Summerellin's like a baby step into GH, right?
Yeah, it's cheaper too, typically.
Okay.
Like growth hormone's expensive.
Like $500 a month?
It depends what your source is. I mean, my kits I get from my guy locally is like 128 IU and 280. That's actually really, really good because I get family and friends pricing, but the same a US version of that for that amount, you might be spending like $800 to $1,200 for that same.
Fuck that.
If it's real, like the good stuff, the Serostim, like the US grade stuff is awesome, but it's fucking expensive.
Does that have you adverse once you stop?
No, I mean some people, long term, it can shut down your GH levels. I'm like, not so much. Main thing you gotta keep an eye on is your blood sugar over time with it. And
it rises?
It can cause some wonky issues with that. Or the other one, it's not a big deal, but some people you'll notice it too. Is like you can get some people get like a little bit of edema, like at night, like it doesn't have like water retention.
Swollen.
Yeah,
right?
I take it at nighttime, so I never notice because I'm laying down. But main thing is, thank you. You notice I stay leaner year round, easier. Like even change like how your skin looks. Like your skin looks healthy and full, but also like it's just like thin. I don't know.
Recovery is fast.
The recovery, I can run through a wall. Like I notice a massive difference in my recovery if I'm not on GH.
Yeah, all right.
But I've been using it year round for the last 3 years, and I love it. So the longer you use it, the more you notice from it too.
Okay. I'm afraid to go on it because I could never go off it there. Because I don't want to deal with like a 1 week recovery versus a 1 day recovery.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But the other part, where was I going with that? It's a good overall, it's a recovery thing for longevity as well. And, once you go down that path, like it's something to definitely, for the long term. And if I want to add in other little things here and there, like I keep it very light. Like I love SLU PP332, that research chem. It's basically it's like a chemical version, basically like mitoburn, like mitoprime. It's an exercise mimetic. It's like it amplifies what you're doing. It's insane, like how the fat just drips off with it. GLP wise, like I wouldn't touch a GLP-1 because like it's just all appetite suppression. Stuff like retatrutide, the GLP-3s are actually really cool. like a light night recomp, like even by paying some about your range, some people take a 0.5 milligram a week. Some people are blasting fucking 8 milligrams. I don't know why, but the nice part with that one is it has the 3 different pathways. Like it helps with the glucagon receptors. It does the appetite suppression. It also just overall, it's not attacking just one pathway. And the thing is, there's a little trade-off too. Like it doesn't crush appetite as much. Like some of the GLPs, the reason they work, like it just crushes your appetite because it's slowing down the rate at which food's moving through your body, so you feel fuller longer, right? The downside is the thing nobody talks about GLPs. I know I'm just diving this whole side topic here. Is that the gut motility can be an issue. Like some people have permanent paralysis in a way of like gut motility because like it slows things down so much that like or that they're shitting their brains out in the opposite way. So like it can mess with your gut regulation, but
Man, okay.
Yeah.
So do people have to add anything? So to the
Fiber?
that's actually a good segue, and I hope you're recording. This is some good
Yeah,
stuff. Is that with the one thing we're seeing in the market is that there's a lot of GLP supplements to support GLP users. I don't have them right in front of me, so this has to be confirmed. But last time I checked, so if I'm not exact, that's okay. I'm just stating that I don't want it's exact. I believe like 67% of users of GLP-1 use them for less than a year. Right. So as with anything diet wise, whether people doing back in the day, the 8CG diet was a thing. You guys remember that? Or whatever trending diet, like, oh, I'm carnivore, I'm paleo.
Yeah.
A lot of times, especially with this, people will take it for, as a whole other subject, but like I want to lose 15 pounds. I'm like, okay, do you really need that to lose 15 pounds?
Right.
But, people are not on them. So if you're taking this temporarily, using it, getting weight loss, the problem with anything like this is a lot of times people aren't making lifestyle modifications.
Yeah.
Where you take it, you cease, then you go back to doing exactly what you're doing, and that turns into the yo-yo effect. The downside of that, though, is if people go on GLP and a lot of times people look worse before they look better. And this, once again, this is not everybody, but in general, if you're not fixing the diet, fixing the training, the downside is people always confuse weight loss with fat loss. Like if they're just looking at simply a number on the scale, right? And they're taking GLP-1, they're not eating, they're not getting, especially not focusing on getting protein in. So what happens is, okay, your body, muscles and metabolic tissue. If you're not feeding that muscle tissue, your body's going to want to get rid of that before it's going to want to get rid of fat. Fat's your emergency reserves, right? Muscle is just expensive. It's burning calories that I'm already not getting. Why am I going to hold on to this, right? That's an oversimplified way of putting that, but by having people in this case, like on say GLP, supporting things that help retain muscle. They hear the word muscle, the people get scared. Like, oh, I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't care about that. I'm like, you should, because how do you move around? You start losing muscle after the age of 30.
I have seen a sea change though. There's a lot more people, like even my wife, like they work out like 4 to 5 days a week. It's like strength training because they come to realize, oh, muscles burn calories.
Yep.
And I think you just seeing other people that look like them also work out gives them, it's like a positive feedback loop,
Yeah, it is.
So,
but oh man, I got segued on that one. But the things you're seeing is to support GLP. Protein is huge. I mean, everything they call it protein washing. Yes, I'm a fan of it. Just some people are. They're engagement grifters on LinkedIn. Some call them as it is. Like all the bros like this and like protein this, protein that. I'm like, well, maybe you should try it because you look like a fucking marshmallow, right? Like you're built like SpongeBob. I'm not interested in what you have to say, right? So it's where people they're getting in. Protein this. There are some ridiculous things. Like yes, I'm so excited about protein popcorn that has 3 grams of protein per serving. Okay, that's just label dressing. That's just right to me, right? But not everything needs protein. I agree with that. But I do think there's some cool things. Your alternative ways of getting in protein. You're not just stuck to protein powder, protein bars. You're seeing things like protein waters, like a lightly flavored whey protein isolates in beverage. You're seeing like
protein cereal.
Yeah, protein cereal, which is it can be really good or really bad. I've tried. I like to try them all. I have to be aware of it. You're seeing different formats like brownies, cookies, muffins, cupcakes, all these functional goods. We saw a big explosion of that for a while. That has cooled a little bit. Because people, as they get into it, one, the pricing of protein keeps going up. 2, it's not a great margin product to begin with. Like they're not very profitable. I'm just being honest. Some people are like, oh yes, I am. Oh, great. Compared to other products, like it's.
So take for example, like when you go like Legendary, right? Not just using them as a pure example. Like I'm seeing their Legendary like cinnamon protein thing. It's $3.99. How much you think the retailer's paying for that? Like $2.50?
Yeah, I mean the margin's not great when it comes to functional foods, and I'll go down a very simple path with that. I'd have to check their COGS. I mean, they're also producing at volume, so they have the volume play, right? Because they're a large customer, they have a lot of placement. And the thing about
Like
it,
a smaller brand with like a functional food at $4, they might be making $1 per unit.
if that.
Really?
It's crazy. I mean, like sometimes, like say you have a bar that's, depending where your pricing is. You're buying a bar at the airport that costs $8.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like when you go into like a vitamin shop or GNC,
like a normal, like most bars you see, what, like a $3.50, $3.69 these days.
Yeah.
Depending on their cost of goods, I mean, you're in the volume there. If you're anywhere at minimum, and that's like you're probably not seeing that as much, like a 65-gram bar. I mean, you're looking at a minimum like 65 to 70 cents for a bar, and that's not over engineering it, not doing anything fancy, but realistically, especially if you're doing your smaller production runs, having good ingredients, good amount of protein in it, with especially protein prices. I mean, be anywhere from like 90 cents to $1.20, right?
And how much are you selling that wholesale at?
So then of course everybody has to make their money. So if they're set the final shelf price, say you're at $1 and then your final shelf price at $3.60, you're not, they're not paying you $1 for your product, right? Because they have to make money, you have to make money. I mean, your margins on bars, and once again, it depends on the business model, but maybe you'd be lucky if you're making 60% on a good day. Like the margins aren't great on functional foods. The other part that gets really hard about it is, once again, I'm not focused on the finance here. This is a general example. Somebody listening to this, they want to argue, that's cool. Like I'm not giving a concrete. It's an example. The other part that people don't realize about functional foods is that there's a couple ways I'll go with this. One is that you have a very big disadvantage here, because compared to most things, at the end of the day, it's a food, right? So it's going to break down and degrade a lot faster. A lot of them have like a year shelf life, if that, and I don't care whose product it is. I don't care if it's Quest, One Bar, a massive player like that with very big batches and wide distribution, or you're talking to Lore, Legendary, or even a small mom and pop brand that's just starting out, right? The thing is, as soon as that bar is finished, that clock starts ticking. Even if a year shelf life, say, okay, we got it finished, shipped out, we get to like say our main distributor immediately, right? Okay, it takes time to get distribution. If you're buying direct to consumer, okay, boom, hey, I got my product right away. But say, that bar was made in January, and then like by the time it gets to distribution center, shipped out to like say, it's going to do vitamin shop over here. Okay, by the time it gets to that smaller vitamin shop that's probably not getting it right out of the gate, especially if it's a newer brand, okay, you may have lost, 2-3 months off of your shelf life already.
Yeah.
So 3 months out of a year has already evaporated from that bar. It's already started to break down. It's already started to harden. It's already started to have changes in taste. And
that is a pretty big thing. I've noticed like when I go to the stores, or like if you have the bars at not like Vitamin Shop or GNC, but if it's at like a Ross or something, but it's the same brand that you would get at Vitamin Shop or GNC, and you look at the date, and then you taste them compared to the one that you just get fresh. There's a pretty big difference.
Dude, that is so wild. So if you're doing functional foods, you have to factor in possibly 20-30% inventory loss just from every batch, because you're not going to sell it at month 11 if it's
especially if you're starting out, people haven't tried your product, so
crazy.
It's a very aggressive and very tight game in that regard. Like
that is insane.
One of the former brands put this way we did a special unit size of it because the price is more sensitive for a customer like Walmart. Those customers aren't typically wanting to walk in and buy a $40 box of bars. One, because they're not the typical sports nutrition customer. Those people are seeing something. Oh, I might try one of these protein bars I've heard of, right? Okay, so it's more approachable. They can buy a 4-pack where I'm not stuck with 12 of them if I don't like them. I'm not dropping $40 at a time. Okay, I can get this for $10, $11. When all said and done, at that point we made a 4-pack just for that retailer. We were making 45 cents.
Oh my goodness.
Per bar?
Per box.
That's crazy.
Your margin was 45 cents?
We were getting 45 cents, and that's before you factor in, okay, we have to pay for advertising. We have to, it's a marketing expense at that point. Some of these, the worst thing you can do too in functional foods, at least for me, is to be everywhere all at once. Because especially the inventory is not cheap. Okay, just to get placement and get things there, we got to, even if like it doesn't sell, we have to provide them with the product to put on the shelf. So you're investing that money right away for the production run. The co-man ain't gonna make it for free for you and say, oh no, pay us when you get paid.
Right.
That's where a lot of people get in trouble with on functional foods, because to fuel that growth, your POs just keep getting bigger and bigger. That's with any brand, right?
But you don't have the cash. Trust me, man. Exactly. I tell these guys all the time.
You need cash to scale.
There's revenue, but there's like cool, but how much cash you have in your checking account to make payroll next week? to make rent in a month.
It may be all fine and dandy. Like, okay, man, we got $100,000 PO from one of the retailers. I'll just keep it generic, but fuck them because they're gonna know who I'm talking about. They're net, especially if you're a newer customer, they're probably net 60. They want these massive terms. Okay, you ordered $100,000 from me. Okay, great. So me to make the inventory for you to fill your order. Okay, how much cash am I putting there? That's probably 30, 40K, depending how expensive your product is out of your pocket. Okay, that's coming out of my pocket to make your damn product. The co-man's gonna say let's set this up simple. Say the co-man's like 50 down, 50 pre-ship, 50%, right? Especially new relationship. Even if you get to the point where in good world here, like, oh, okay, we'll give you net 30. All right, great. My product's done this shift, and now I send it off to the retailer. They're net 60. The co-man's net 30. So I got to pay them for the production run, within by net 30 just to keep my bills in good standing. Okay, where's that money coming from? Right. Because these guys are great. Even if I sell all $100,000 of that product, awesome, and they order more, to get paid on my $100,000 PO, they're going to take all of that 60 days to pay you. Right. So in the meantime, you're standing there with your dick in your hand. Like, okay, like I need to place more POs. I need to order packaging. I have to fund my payroll. Right. So that's unfortunately, this isn't just for functional foods. A lot of people don't understand that part of the business when it comes to supplements, any business for that matter. Right.
I was reading, I just saw this cause I get like a newsletter, like bullet points of like, CPG e-commerce tips. This is one expert's advice. He's skilled, to $1 billion in rev for multiple brands. 98 to 99% of failures within the first 24 months is not related to the product. It's almost always cash.
Yeah, it's cash flow.
You just don't have the cash flow. You're undercapitalized essentially.
So one thing that happens a lot that and the ugly side of it is at some point, let's be very real here. And I'm a gym bro as well. I'm more on the science side. I don't do sales because I don't want to. No, you guys enjoy, boys.
He was talking about how much he hated sales and would never want to do it before here.
No, just a shiesty sales guys over here sitting there. But at the same time, a lot of my best friends in the industry, you're all like sales guys, right? So I need
not
you.
Shiesty.
We can be. I need you guys because I can make the coolest thing ever. But if you guys aren't there to sell it, I love y'all because you guys do the job I don't want to do. Yes. I don't. I'm an introverted extrovert. I don't want to always have to talk to people. I can be my science things, just stick in my computer in my lab and make my stuff and not to talk to anybody. DND. You'll be texting me, then you'll call me and I'll stare at my phone and like, oh, sorry, I missed your call. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, totally. Definitely.
I think we're all guilty of that. But when it comes to the sales side of stuff, and I completely lost my train of thought. Great. But
about the bars or the payments.
Well, the payment side. So what happens a lot of times when it comes to brands, right, is at some point it started by, say, somebody like me. I'm not a finance guy, and most people, once again, this is the bragging or whatever, like they don't work in the capacity I do as a scientist. A lot of times like, hey man, I love working out. I want to make a pre-workout, and they go down that path. They reach out to me or whoever it is to formulate their product, right? So we make them their product and awesome. It takes off, it grows, and awesome, man. We sold all 2,000 units or whatever PO is. Okay, let's grow, right? So the thing is a lot of times people get ahead of their skis per se. They don't understand finances, or they don't understand the long-term ramifications of it. Like you can handle things up to a certain point, but when your brand starts hitting that 20, 30, 40, 50, $60 million year mark, the amount of money that's going everywhere in your business is a lot to handle, right? That takes strategy. It takes, actual planning, right? Because hey, the big bills never stop. Okay, but you keep adding to your team. Okay, to be able to sell more to support all my accounts, and I guess this is more retail model. Well, when you had to have like your territory reps, so Northeast, Southeast, Midwest, right? Okay, I got 6 sales guys here. They have their base pay and their payroll. Okay, that doesn't stop. No matter how much we're selling, they're on payroll. We have the building. If you're on site, okay, that doesn't stop. Okay, we have like our data expenses. All the bills we have currently, right? So those they're always around, right? Okay, but at the same time, to support new growth, we need to buy more product, right? Even if we, like I said, I meant this earlier, we have $100,000 PO. Okay, we got to make the product to fill that PO, right? Yeah. So now we have to, the co-man expense, packaging, all that initial investment. So at some point, you run out of cash because it's great that you're reinvesting that money back in the business. A lot of supplement companies or companies in general, and once again, I don't care. Somebody's going to fucking want to argue that's fine. But a lot of times you're in the red for the first few years as a brand. Realistically, on paper, you're not making money because you have to spend money to make money. Some people, they only talk about it. I'm not throwing anybody on the bus, but there's some very big brands that they've been around 6-7 years. They've never made a profit. On paper, they look amazing, but okay, how much are you spending? It doesn't matter if you're selling $100 million of product if you're spending 101.
Right.
You're still in the red, right?
Yeah.
So that's where they get into trouble, and a lot of times that's where the private equity group comes into play. You have something valuable. Oh, we need help. We need a cash investment, and then unfortunately, that's what happens. I'm not throwing them all in the bus, but a lot of times private equity groups, they don't care. They're not your core group of people that built this brand, that live and breathe it, that have the culture, the feel, what the brand wants to do.
It's purely ROI.
It's the bottom line.
Yeah,
they care about being in the black. Why aren't we making money? Yeah. And that's it. Unfortunately, that happens. You need the cash, but at the end of the day, you're kind of selling your soul to a degree. You're selling equity of that brand to get the help to grow it. But one, you lose control of some of your brand because they have a say now, and they may not want to be as nimble or do fun stuff that you may want. They care like what is going to sell, right? Yeah. So you sometimes they'll let you run with it a bit, like okay, it better work. But if it doesn't, okay, mom and daddy are going to be having more of a say. Nope, we're not doing that product. Nope, stick to 3 flavors.
Wait, I think we gotta do the intro. All right, hit the intro before we forget the. All right.
Okay, so we can just keep talking then.
Well, let's go through some actual questions.
Hey, what's
rapid fire questions? Okay, let's just they're gonna be like 5 seconds, like boom.
Just first reaction off the top of your head.
Okay. All right, we got rapid fire with Drew Peters.
All right.
Machines or free weights?
Both.
Stretching before or after your workout?
Neither.
Do you do arms at all?
Yes.
What's the most overrated exercise out there?
That's not very fast, Drew.
I know. I got hit in the wall here. I was trying to think of something clever.
Jared thinks tricep extensions are the worst overrated exercise.
Well, it depends what you're looking to do, but I would say typically the amount of time that people dedicate to training glutes is wasted time.
All right. Intermittent fasting or calorie counting?
Calorie counting.
I'm a calorie counter.
Is there one dumb fitness idea or advice that you've been hearing lately out there?
I don't even know where to start. Okay. I would say some of the retarded shit that I see about peptides.
Peptides. Okay.
I love peptides, but most people do not understand them.
Yeah.
All right. What is your ultimate cheat meal on Thanksgiving? Because I don't care how dialed in you are, everyone cheats on Thanksgiving.
Honestly, I don't love Thanksgiving food that much.
Me either.
It's not a big deal to me.
I don't eat
Okay, fine. Christmas dinner.
Honestly, so having a Venezuelan wife, so a lot of that I love some of the Latino Christmas food, like pan de jamon is incredible, and it's not even that quote unquote bad for you, but like I love pan de jamon is incredible. Hallacas are something I do enjoy here and there. There's something
you eat arepas?
I love arepas. I eat arepas all the time, and empanadas are awesome. I prefer baked over fried, not because it's calories. No, I just like the texture better, especially with a nice crispy filo dough type texture. Empanadas incredible. But I love that.
Wait, so you do eat carbs during the regular days?
All the time. I'm not afraid of carbs.
Oh, okay, interesting. But bread carbs?
Yeah.
Huh.
Sour. I do love some. Who doesn't love bread? If I pick bread, I like sourdough because one's the simplest, cleanest. Two, it's less ingredients, but I just generally like how sourdough bread tastes. You know.
I thought it was.
So what's the most underrated exercise?
I would say probably starting your leg day with hamstring exercises. As generic as that is, but I like working my hamstrings before I touch my quads.
Okay, so more on a machine to kind of activate it.
I like to do starting with a seated leg curl, a lying leg curl on my leg days because it's a nice stable base. It gets everything loose. It creates the antagonist muscle for the quads, the opposite one. I feel nice and stable and loose going into my first quad exercise.
Okay.
Follow up. So if you're doing legs, warm up your hammies first.
Personal preference, yeah. I like doing hamstrings first.
Okay. What trade show are you super stoked to go to in 2026?
Supply Side Global, which is the dumbest fucking name ever. Why? It's changed to Supply Side West.
Why would you change it?
Well, I think, do they still have Supply Side East? They do, right?
They do.
They do, and it sucks.
Yeah.
I've never gone, but I've heard it's terrible.
Yeah.
You get the 3 must-have ingredients.
Oh yeah. So if you're creating one supplement, what are the 3 must-have ingredients in that pre-workout?
In a pre-workout?
Pre-workout.
Non-branded ingredients.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say beta-alanine because you don't have to have that in a pre-workout. It's a great ingredient, but at the same time, it's not something that you're taking and getting effect from immediately. It's a cumulative effect. I would say something for vasodilation. So in that case, citrulline is really hard to beat. It's simple. It's effective. It gets the point across. Some people would want to say caffeine. In this case, sure. It's a performance ingredient because not only does it give you the focus aspect of it, but, it does have, the data in terms of helping force production. There's different numbers to it, but it helps you lock you in. So I'd say probably caffeine or some type of stimulant in that degree. Keep it simple. Aside from that, things you want for that case for acute effects, same thing. Creatine's great, but you don't have to take it at once. I think it's dumb to put in a pre-workout. Vasodilation, energy focus, maybe something for like an adaptogen aspect or for increasing endurance, whether it be like solidricides or something you have an immediate effect from it.
Okay.
Do you believe in like rhodiola or like
I do.
mushrooms?
Well, rhodiola, I like the active ingredient, the solidricides from it.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
All right. I'll go 1 and you get 2.
Adaptogens of the Vikings.
All right. Gummies right now, as you're a gummy man right now, part-time, they're completely taking over the supplement space, right? But come on, as traditional purists like us, we like our powders. We'll take capsules, tablets. Do you ever see a point where you think gummies would be the biggest category?
No.
Never?
Just because there's so many constraints to it. I love gummies, and who doesn't? But just like any format, there's always a pro and a con to the delivery format. When it comes to, like, say, Capsules are probably the easiest ones because you don't have a flavor restriction. You can put whatever you want in a capsule. You don't have to worry about the color. You just, as long as it fits. The downside is you have a space constraint. So at a certain point, some things aren't feasible put in a capsule because you're going to capsule fatigue. Like, you're not going to want to take 50 capsules to take my protein powder in a capsule form. Same thing. That's why they sell it, but you don't see creatine like in a capsule often because, okay, it's 5 grams, takes a lot of capsules. Same with BCAAs. Yes, they sell them, but it's not ideal. So for most things, capsules are most straightforward. It's also most cost effective because you're not doing a flavor system and you're not paying for the material for gummies. Powders are great because you don't have a size constraint, but you have an additional cost if you're doing obviously the flavor system of it, and you have to worry about, okay, does it taste good?
Yeah.
Right? So that can be a drawback when it comes to powder format. Okay, when it comes to gummies, you actually have both. You have a size constraint and you have a flavor thing to worry about. You can only fit so much in gummies because, they have to be able to form into a gummy. They also have to be able to set into a gummy within a certain amount of time to make it commercially feasible. There's a massive difference between mixing up something, pouring it in a tray, and letting it set overnight in a lab versus like, oh, this is on a scale production line. Yes, you have drying rooms, things like that, but you have to have it set and form into the gummy format in under a certain amount of time to make it feasible. So also you have the taste component. Like, it has to taste good, so it has to taste all right. You have to be able to fit it in gummies. And then, yes, you can use a multiple gummy serving size. Like our creatine gummies, for example, is 5 gummies per serving. And, tests out, it hits label claim, and it's not trying to cram too much into one gummy. The other part too is it doesn't have a weird, texture. You try to cram too much, it might be gritty, grainy. So the user experience, the flavor component, and also getting it to fit are all things. And also it gets expensive quickly because you're paying for the actual material for the gummies itself is a factor compared to, say, capsules, right? So there's pros and cons of every format.
Yeah. As a formulator behind one of the more popular gummy creatines out there, is there a specific type of ingredient that's really hard to make work in a gummy application for either stability or just overall effectiveness of the actual active in the product?
I don't know if there's one specific one. It's interesting though, because with creatine, it comes down to pH levels to make sure it stays stable. And that's how we're able to achieve that. We have it verified by third-party testing, Eurofins, all those third-party labs. So it is in fact hitting label claim. NSF certification as well is a big thing. It's a verify, hey, here's our lab testing. We stand behind it anytime. But in terms of things like that, we're seeing innovation in a couple of cool ways. By necessity, either an ingredient, like we mentioned rhodiola earlier, right? The downside is the rhodiola got added to the CITES list of endangered species and plants back in 2023. So that became a sourcing challenge. So that's why, it forced us to look at other pathways. Now we can just use pure solidricide, extracted from that and other sources that have solidricide content. So it's more expensive, but it actually ends up being a cost saving because instead of needing, say, 300 or 600 milligrams, saying what you're going for, you can use 30 milligrams.
Yeah.
So I had a material, and for example, in a product where, once again, I don't remember the math off the top of my head, but roughly it was the material cost twice as much, but I used, 30 milligrams instead of 300, so it was a tenth of the material. It ended up being like an 80 cents cost savings, even though the ingredient was more expensive. So by forcing because of that, or by, hey, we need this in a gummy format, how can we make this ingredient better, innovate? Like, for example, berberine is something that would like to put in a gummy because a lot of people like it, but it tastes terrible.
Right.
So there is some technology that I'm working on in one of the brands to bring a really cool berberine gummy that it makes it palatable, but it's by doing some different coatings with it that not only helps with the bioavailability, but also makes it palatable. So there's some cool innovations happening because, hey, we want to be able to put this in a gummy.
Yeah.
So going back to your NSF testing, because I remember like right now you're seeing in the industry people questioning like how much actives are actually in this gummy, right? Mm-hmm. I think that was a good, I think that was a good thing that now Foods and Subco and those other people have done, because it brought to light that, hey, especially like a lot of this, brands are not established.
Yeah,
they're not putting really actives in their or the actives are cooking off during the process, during the slurry process. So I'm glad that you guys brought that up. Like, hey, your brand is testing. When you buy that product, it is gonna be 5 grams of creatine monohydrate in there, So,
yeah, I guess I was pretty curious, just kind of off the top of my head. You guys kind of created a creatine gummy product that I don't want to say went viral, but kind of exploded from TikTok, which is what a lot of our customers would hope would happen to them. What kind of challenges did you guys run into when that happened? Because obviously you don't know when something's going to explode or go viral.
You have to have a good manufacturing partner because it's great. You can have everybody want a product, but if you don't have enough inventory to fill it, great, you can't grow.
Yeah.
That is something, that challenge that we had a great problem to have where we had problems staying in stock. And we've actually, I don't have to go down the whole path, nor will I, but we did a lot of work in the last few months here in terms of getting set up to not only bolster our supply chain, but double our capacity, be a lot more nimble, have some good agreements. And this is where I'm big on relationships with your ingredient suppliers, your co-mans. Like, okay, hey, there's certain things you just can't shorten because it still has to be done a certain way. You're testing, you have to make sure that the drying times are proper. But by having, some planning and some favorable manufacturing partners to prioritize getting your inventory in, that's been a big play, So not only have we done flavor improvements, stability improvements, everything's still meeting testing in terms of spec. Like, we have a very big year planned to not only recover and catch up to where we were last year without having the same hiccups, but to expand way beyond that. And one thing I do want to mention before we move on the gummy side of it is that if you're having gummies made, I'd recommend you work with a gummy manufacturer, which is weird to say, but what I mean by this is some manufacturers, they do everything.
Yes.
They make powders, capsules, tablets, ready-to-drinks, gummies, but the thing is they do everything, but they don't do anything exceptionally well.
Jack of all trades.
A jack of all trades, a master of none.
Yeah.
So the worst thing in my experience that I've seen, and this isn't specific to anybody, even though it is, I don't like,
no names here.
I don't like having gummies made by a manufacturer that happens to make gummies.
Right.
If they're a gummy manufacturer, let them focus on gummies or have other things in business like chews, because like to do it properly and have everything done, like that's all they do is gummies.
Yeah.
So there's some great manufacturing partners and there's some not so great ones. The other downside when it comes to gummies, well, it could be, is it's not as friendly of a barrier for entry to get into it because the minimum order quantities on gummies, it can be relatively high, compared
What
to
is the
everything.
MOQ? Like 100,000 gummies?
No, it depends on the co-man. So just breaking down the math for a minute, realistically, if you're able to find a gummy co-man, once again, it can fluctuate. You can by unit or by gummy, like a lot of times we'll do like 500,000 gummies. Like, oh, maybe we can do when you split that up, like 5 gummies a serving across, 30 servings, 150 gummies a unit. It's not that crazy, right?
500,000 gummies. So
Yeah.
this is not for some
That's not that
some
much.
person starting out making 500 units or 1,000 units.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. There are some co-mans that'll do that. Trust me, you can find it and they exist. But then the two is like when you're using the smaller production runs, a lot of times people when they hear MOQ, like, oh, why is it so high? Well, that's great. We're not in business here to just make product for you and not make money.
Right.
Not as agreed, but it's about efficiency. So I'll walk that back one sec here. But it's not crazy. 500,000 gummies when you do the math on it. Sometimes they'll do like first to get you started, we'll work with you and we'll make it a pilot run where we'll use like our smaller gummy line to kind of knock out like 200,000 or 300,000 for his initial run. I wouldn't want to do that as a manufacturer either because, okay, instead of taking that same time, right? That it took me to have my staff allocated to it, the setup, the prep, the line time, all that. Okay, we made you 200,000, or having a customer in that same time window that I can make 2 million gummies, right? Like it's efficiency.
Right.
So that's why a lot of times you see MOQs for manufacturers is because for what they're set up for, it's about efficiency. You want to be able, you want that line running. The reason you get price breaks, and I'm oversimplifying this, but that's fine if you're not as intimate with this, is that when you look at this, okay, which one's going to be more efficient, right? If I have like, say, okay, today we're running this company's chocolate protein. Okay, they need, say 5,000 or 6,000 units. Okay, I'm making one product. I'm blending the same thing. We're set up for the same line.
Yeah.
I don't have to go between. So when I finish that production run, you're batching whatever, you have to prepare the line. You're cleaning out the line from what you just ran, making sure there's no remnants of it, the staging, the prepping, setting up, right? Like when you hit the go button, is blended, everything is filling. But in between filling everything like that, you have to clean out all the machines. Okay, would I rather, say, make 5,000 units of one flavor for one product and not do all the cleaning in between? Or, okay, say we're running 5 different brands. Okay, there's 5 different flavors for 1,000 units a piece. Okay, how much time did I spend on
waste of time,
right?
I always call it just opportunity cost, right? Like, because going back to what you said earlier, there's like every hour there's a fixed and variable cost of running a business.
Yep.
So what revenue are you generating that hour, right? So,
exactly. Time is money. It's as simple as it is, but it's efficiency.
Going back to ingredients that you want in a pre-workout, this is expanding besides pre-workouts. As the formulator for Beast Bites and Vital Source, what are some ingredients you're like, I don't need to put that into my stuff? Like you think it's just overrated? And let's skip brand ingredients.
No, that's fine.
Generic names.
Something that's probably, like I said, this is done to death. I don't see it often, thankfully, but I just think it's silly to put creatine in a pre-workout just because you can take it any time of day. You're not going to take it immediately for a workout and notice a huge difference. Anecdotally, sure, and I'm sure, we did in this lab, we saw this percentage increase, but okay, great. But it's same with beta-alanine. It works better cumulatively taken over time. What matters about that product is take it consistently. So thankfully, I don't see a lot of that. Overrated, man. I don't know. It's the same thing with ingredients, kind of like tattoos. I have tat up cellular sleeve. There's a good analogy is right. What may be important and necessary to somebody may not be important and necessary to somebody else. So overrated in what degree, right? This is something that I care about.
Very true.
I think overrated, or the thing that drives me nuts is like, don't push something in a product just to have it on the label.
Yeah.
I would honestly rather, again, here's the SEO searching. Oh, wow, it has everything in here. I would rather just leave an ingredient out versus not be able to put it in at the full amount that I want to. I would rather just not put it in altogether versus use an underdosed amount, because that's just label dressing to me.
Yeah.
So that's overrated, is having things in a product that aren't dosed correctly.
Okay, so I really love what you said, because what may be underrated to you might be overrated to someone else, right? Because they already have it as part of stack somewhere else in the day or that week, right?
Yeah, or it's just not important to them. Yeah. Like if you don't care about getting a pump, like even though you'd benefit from citrulline, for example, from taking it for many things like cardiovascular health, circulatory health. I don't care about getting a pump. Well, great. It's still a great ingredient, but that may not matter to me. I'm more focused on, I want to run through a wall. I want all the stems, all the fun stuff back in the day. So what are you looking for?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that works great. The overdressing, I feel like it should be for everybody for labels. Like just putting a dictionary on your label doesn't make the product better.
Yeah.
Totally.
Or the kitchen sink approach, If you have 23 ingredients and you have a 25-gram scoop size, like, okay, I kid you not, I saw a product that back in the day. It was literally a 25-gram serving with like 26 ingredients. I'm like, I know nothing in here is dosed correctly. If creatine's one of those ingredients right then and there, like, this product's bullshit,
And honestly, without saying any names, I remember I had like a super flagship pre, and there was like so many brands in there, and we took it. It didn't taste that great, and man, dude, did not feel good after.
The part two,
there's counter interactions. It's not like you're studying this ingredient with this ingredient. What happens, when you ingest them at the same time,
There could be some of that, but at the same time, if you're swallowing all these things, at the same time, man, what's the point of diminishing returns where now it's just sitting in my stomach like a brick? It's just a lot of powder, a lot of raw materials. Same time, like how many different pump ingredients do you need in one product? For me, like for example, like I keep it simple. I like doing like a 3-prong approach to pumps. Yes, that's my signature saying, because it's fun. It's a good way of putting that. I like to address things in multiple pathways. I guess one thing that does like, why? Is, yeah, I guess there's some of it. Yes, you need label recognition. Okay, people understand these ingredients, put them in there. But if they do the same damn thing, then it makes more sense to me to just put in like another ingredient at the same cost that it addresses another pathway, gives you another benefit, right? So for example, a three-prong approach to pump. So I look at a product like, okay, do you really need like a branded version of a pump ingredient plus citrulline, plus another product that does the same thing, essentially vasodilation? Okay, you're doing the same thing. But yeah, the pathways may be slightly different, but at the end of the day, you're kind of addressing it through the same end game, right? Okay, this is vasodilator. It enhances nitric oxide, by vasodilation or blood vessel relaxation. Okay, to me, that makes more sense to like add something else. Like, okay, how can I first support the pump? Something like a high-grade glycerol. Okay, you're drawing water into the muscle cells. So not only do you have increased vasodilation, blood flow, circulation, you're having, okay, more water drawn into the muscle cell, muscle fullness. Glycerol is an incredible hydration ingredient, because it is osmotic. It pulls water in the cells. It hyperhydrates. It's like a state of super hydration, essentially, right? Okay, what other pathway can we do? Okay, maybe a natural, angiotensin inhibitor, something that prevents the breakdown of nitric oxide. So you're addressing something that increases nitric oxide and enhances blood flow and circulation. You're having something that makes the cells maximize in terms of volume for fullness for the pump, and you're having that nitric oxide, in a super simple way of putting it, being prevented from being broken down. 3 different pathways to achieve like a pump, right? So that's what I mean by like a 3-prong approach. This is an example.
Okay, so list those real quick.
For which way?
Just the ingredients that you just said.
Oh, okay. This is doing like a super simple one without going anything branded. Like I keep it very classic. Okay, let's say L-citrulline, for example. Let's pair that with something like a really good absorbable glycerol, for the muscle fullness, and then something for like angiotensin inhibitor, or like natural PD5 inhibitor. Like vasodrive would be like a natural lacto and ditetrapeptide, right? Okay. So preventing the breakdown of nitric oxide. So they kind of look at it that way.
We'll give you love, vasodrive.
I know. But I just think that's one that does that specifically,
All right, last question.
Yeah, for Vital Source, you're dealing with pretty complex systems. You created a female balanced hormone support gummy. Can you kind of give us an idea of really how you came about creating that product and what was important to put in that gummy?
That one, honestly, is super simple. It's a very, very simple 2-3 ingredient product where basically we just have, selected probiotics and pineapple powder for flavoring and just a natural, bromelain in it. So we just picked, in that case, just went with a really good general probiotic that covers what we want to cover. In that case, we can make clinical claims and this is good in research for female health, vaginal flora, as well as, the gut flora in general. It's a very general product that we just got made happen to be female leaning.
How were you able to ensure the probiotic survives that slurry stage, when you're cooking it at like what, 85 Celsius for like an hour?
Verifying it after with third-party lab testing. That also going into it, that's like, I'm not a probiotic expert by any means. Yeah. Some people, that's all they do, man. There's so many different ones that do complex things. That's where having a good partner that understands, okay, which ones are heat stable, which ones are liquid stable, right? Some are very delicate. Like some probiotics, they would not absolutely not survive in like even a general powder or gummy. Like they have to even be refrigerated. They get exposed to air. Like some probiotics, the best probiotic packaging, I'll keep it super simple, is GNC did a great job of this. I think they still do. They sell each individual probiotic capsule in like a blister pack. Because then it's created sealed, and every time you have a fresh capsule. Otherwise, every time you open that bottle, you're exposing the capsules to air. Like some of them can be very sensitive, I think, to a degree. Like how much doesn't matter, right? But like ideal packaging for probiotics for those type, blister pack, put in the fridge, and keep it stable. The probiotics are tricky. Some are very, very sensitive. They're not heat stable. They're very sensitive to air degradation. They're sensitive to temperature changes. So, okay, great. It's cool, but I have to refrigerate it. It can't be exposed to air and so on and so forth. Like
they're little emo probiotics.
Yeah, exactly. Sit around and cut them.
Listen, Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah.
Are you want to do the intro?
Oh my God. Yeah. You guys good?
Yeah, can we hit this one?
Oh. Yeah. So this is something I always like to ask people. If you could only have one supplement for the rest of your life, only one, what would it be?
What's defined as a supplement?
The pre-workout, the protein powder. Do you want
so I can't say Sustanon?
What was that?
I can't say Sustanon?
No injections.
No.
Well, it is. It's my base testosterone. For
something that you can buy at the store.
I can buy something. I don't know.
A 17-year-old could buy at the store.
That's actually a great question. Are we talking? Because I can cover categories. Is it for performance? Is it for longevity and everything?
Your choice. Dealer's choice.
But it's the rest of your life, so it's probably more longevity based, right?
Yeah.
You're about to be stuck on an island. There you go.
Yeah, and they're dropping in a 20-foot container. It's only one shipment that you peeled away from Costco. So it's just all protein, all creatine.
I'm pretty interested to see what he has to say.
Yeah.
That's incredibly hard.
question.
It is. I mean, it wouldn't be something like performance based because if we're talking longevity. So in that case, I mean, I don't think I'll give a couple of different options and I'll explain why. In that case, I'd pick something that has a lot of bang for the buck in terms of long-term health. So creatine could be a contender because at the end of the day, it's one of the raw materials for your body. ATP production, phosphocreatine, like it benefit-wise. Okay, strength, power output, helping me retain lean muscle mass. There's even the benefits on the cognitive side of it, healthy aging, So I think you get a lot out of that. So that could be a strong contender. You go the route of something for cellular health like NMN. Right, that could be another possible one for mitochondrial health, cellular regeneration, that type of thing. That could be a strong contender. Or you could do something along the lines of like a high-grade curcumin, because you're addressing chronic low-grade inflammation from circulatory health, digestive health, joints, muscles, everything like that. Even inflammation like in things like your brain, your scalp, right? Like for low-grade chronic inflammation, so that could be a strong contender. Very specifically, it has to be a high-grade one like tetrahydrocurcumin or like a liposomal version where the bioavailability is good.
But you can only choose one, Drew. Right? Which one?
I'd say between those three. You get a lot of bang for the buck. If I could pick one supplement to like the most benefits out of it, probably one of those three. I'd say you get the most out of it.
He would make his own and take that one.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's a good question, but if I'm what are the most bang for the buck, gun to your head? Like what supplements do I get the most out of for your health in long-term general, right?
I like those things because good luck trying to eat enough creatine and eat enough good luck trying to eat like 12 grams of turmeric every day, right? Like
that's the part too where I see people, they're like, oh, you don't need supplements, you can get everything you eat from food. I'm like, okay, great, you can get citrulline from watermelon, but unless you're eating like 2 pounds of watermelon to get enough citrulline in it, or like, oh, I get my curcumin from curry. I'm like, okay, the amount of curry or turmeric you'd have to eat to get like a amount that matters in the long run to be tons of it, and two, the bioavailability of it is horrible.
Definitely.
So even if
unless you pair it with astragin, of course, and black pepper,
right. But by nature, it's not ideal. Like how much curcumin are you going to possibly eat?
Yeah.
I make a daily like 13-ounce super bomb shake, and literally looks like diarrhea.
It's gross.
But I used to scoop 8 to 9 grams of turmeric in it, and it wasn't palatable. Like you're choking on it, There's that bitter afternote. Like
I like some of those, like just for the novelty of it, and simply like, oh, it's super juices. Like actually, there can be pretty tasty, like the little curcumin like turmeric shots.
Oh, I love those.
There's different brands of them. It's actually they're quite tasty. They'll something like an orange juice or like a mango juice with the curcumin, and they'll do like cayenne pepper.
But I believe if you look at the sub facts or nutrition facts, there's only like a gram or two of turmeric in there.
So honestly,
it's not an effective dose.
Honestly, it doesn't hurt anything by having a diet that's aiding in reducing inflammation. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
Okay, adding curcumin to your diet or turmeric, okay, great. It has anti-inflammatory properties. Cumulative effect. It's not hurt anything. Versus, I'm eating things that increase inflammation, right? Like, it doesn't hurt.
Cheetos.
Those are great.